When I go side to side, like when I'm like this, right? Do you know how many times I would get hit as I'm thinking in my mind, hey, Al, you should go to the side. As I'm going to the side, he already hit me with a cross. Then I come to this side, and then I'm just walking into the uppercut. What are you going to do? Some people box, some people don't. What the hell's going on? Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Friday, January 24th, 8:01 a.m. Oh, we got a show today. Do we got a show today? Maybe you tune in every morning. Maybe you tune in once every 3 months. I don't know how often you tune in, but I appreciate you being here no matter what. Um, I just figured out how to just kind of clean up my thumbnail a little bit. Damn, Slee's making moves. Now, got to throw some more investment into the channel. That's what we're doing here. Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. We got a lot to talk about in today's show, so I'm looking forward to get Laker fans' reaction. We got a lot of different topics. We got the weekend preview coming up, a couple good NFL games coming up on Sunday. We got a lot to get into. Before I do any of that, before I look at the comments, before anything, let me get you guys a quick quote here for the day. Without gratitude, there is no prosperity. Without gratitude, there is no prosperity. I hope some of these quotes, every once in a while, I hope I'm hitting you guys with one of these quotes from somebody's like, all right, hey, Slee, I could take that with me for the day. We got a great show lined up. I'm going to give everyone a quick rundown. I'll take a look at the comments. Then we'll get started. Today's one of those Fridays where it's like, you know what? Just freaking, we'll go as long as we need to go today. We'll do whatever the hell we need to do today to make sure that you guys are well taken care of. First off, let me just say this. If you listen to last night's post-game show, I did it from the arena. My apologies. So I guess what was going on over at Crypto is they were breaking everything down to get ready for the Grammys. The Lakers are about to go on the Grammys trip, so they're getting everything all prepped. So where I'm standing, they're literally taking out the stands in front of me. Like I was like on an island. They took out all the stands around me, and then I'm just still standing there. So I know there was a lot of noise and everything else, but we'll break Lakers down today. Don't worry. I'll get you guys taken care of. Lakers dominate Boston. Let's talk a little bit about that. There's a lot certainly to get into in regards to that. So we'll spend a lot of time on the actual game. I think reaction. I'm curious. Is this how big of a deal is this? Is it no? It's just one game. Let's not overreact to it or anything like that. But I didn't see that happening. So we got a lot that we're going to get into in regards to the game. Anthony Davis wants a big man. He wants to play with another big man. Anthony Davis, last night, there was a video that came out with Shams Charania, and he sent a very blunt, clear statement to the Lakers. Get me a big man. I want to talk about that and how the Lakers, he's the most important voice right now in that Lakers organization, period. I know Bron's there. I know Bron is a moneymaker, box office, one of the greatest to ever do it. The most important voice in that Lakers organization is Anthony Davis. If you want something, go do it. We'll spend some time on that. I heard that the price is going up for a couple of these players that the Lakers are interested in. Lakers got a Laker tax. Everybody knows the Laker tax. I want to spend some time on what Pelinka does. Does he even make a bad deal just to make sure that he makes a deal? We'll get into that. Jurickson Profar is leaving the San Diego Padres. He's signing a 3-year, $42 million deal with the Atlanta Braves. I want to talk about my team for a little bit. We'll do that a little bit later. Just such a disappointing offseason, such a gut punch to the city of San Diego, what's going on there with the Padres. So we'll spend some time on that. Ohtani's interpreter, we got to make a movie about this. How is there not already a Netflix special on Ohtani's interpreter? And I guess the latest article was about him basically pretending to be Ohtani. I know you can just wire money by just picking up the phone. Yeah, I'm Steve Ballmer. I'm going to need $6 million by 4 p.m. Who are you? Steve Ballmer. Okay, we'll get that right over to you. Just let us know what bank account you would like that to and what your routing number is, and we'll get that over to you. Sounds good. Is that easy? That's all we got to do? Been a millionaire by now. And then weekend preview, we'll talk a little about the NFL games coming up. I don't know if you guys saw this as well. There is I'm going to close out the show with this. Do you guys see that trailer on Netflix? Court of gold, and it's about the USA and really all the countries Olympic basketball. I saw the trailer yesterday. We'll watch it together and then we'll call it a weekend. So thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate you guys being here. Please subscribe to the channel. As you guys know, I'm working in the independent space, loving the entire thing. Appreciate you guys hanging out. You guys are giving me a lot of energy, I think is the right thing to say. So please subscribe to the channel. All right, let's look at a couple of the comments here. We'll get started. Good morning. Good morning. Vando. Yep. Vando, hopefully back tomorrow. Good morning. Let's see what else we got here. Spam and eggs in the morning. Whatever gets you going, brother. You know, Slee's Coffee got something extra in it today. Good morning from Colorado. Ray, good morning, brother. You know, that's none of your business what's in my coffee. Okay? That's none of your business what's in my coffee. There's certain things that I'm open to have conversations about. Okay? Anything you want to talk about, let's go. What's in my coffee? That's none of your damn business. Estonia in the house. Yeah, this just Chula Vista in the house. By the way, you know, if like I got anybody in San Diego coming, they just come right to the front of the line. Right to the front of the line. LA gets angry at me for that. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? It's my people. You're all my people. All right, morning, Slee. All right, good morning, everybody. Let's get started here. So yesterday, last night, being at the arena, fun game to be at. Really just a complete surprise. It was kind of funny to me because there's a couple times that people was hitting me in the post-game show and it's just like, Slee, I don't know what I just watched. Damn, is that not the Lakers? Is that not the Lakers where you just have no idea what's going to show up? Here's what was different last night about this than what we've seen from this Lakers team in the past. What was different last night was usually Lakers have a solid quarter, a solid half, but that's going to be followed up by a bad quarter and a bad half. I was texting with my cousin during the game, and he's like, yeah, I'm just waiting for Boston to come back in the third quarter. That's how a lot of Laker fans feel. A lot of Laker fans feel it's not like the Lakers can't play a good stretch of minutes, but can they sustain it? And the answer is typically no, I don't think they can sustain it. Last night was 48 solid minutes of Lakers basketball. Last night, I don't care what side of the ball you were looking at. It was 6 guys that scored in double figures for the Lakers. It was solid defense all around. I think Tatum only had 16. Porzingis got most of his points early on. Brown didn't do anything special. Derek White and Drew Holiday, it is impossible that those two play another as bad of a game as they did, like they did last night. And I'll give the Lakers all the credit in the world for what they did defensively. Some of the other guys that were stepping up. Lakers were phenomenal for 48 minutes. And that's not something we typically say about the Lakers. And they didn't do it against the Wizards. They didn't do it against the Blazers. They didn't do it against the Utah Jazz or the Golden State Warriors or the Miami Heat or some of these teams around the NBA that are mid. They did it, in my opinion, against the best team in the NBA. I'm not looking at standings. I'm looking at who's the last team that won it all. Who's the team that, in their mind thinks regular season, 82-game stretch, we'll turn this on. We'll crank it up when we need to once they get into the playoffs. That's the Boston Celtics to me. Lakers did it against the best team in the league, and they played their best game of the year, which I think also provides this kind of head-scratching, like, what the hell was that? So they can just have that type of game for 48 minutes. So they can have that many different players contribute in a game like last night. Apparently, yes. Apparently, they can do that. I tried asking. I was, you guys know one of my favorite words on this show, barometer. A barometer game, right? Everybody knows it. When they think barometer, they're like, okay, here goes Sliwa again. Will this guy not shut up about the barometer games? But I tried last night before the game started. Asked JJ Redick, do you look at this game differently compared to other games? Basically on how the team performs. Do you assess them differently? He went into his coach speech. Every game matters. I'm like, you son of a, you're going to hit me with the every game matters? Bron in the postgame show. Guys, this is no more in the postgame interviews. This is no more than just a regular game. If we don't follow it up against the Golden State Warriors, then it doesn't mean anything. Last night was not normal. It wasn't. Last night was anything was far from normal, in my opinion, when it comes to this Lakers team. Last night was real deal. Lakers looked phenomenal. Lakers look like a team that for 48 minutes can play on both sides of the ball. It gives you some hope about this Lakers team. Now, the bigger question for me is going to be, I'll tell you where my hesitation is on this Lakers game. My hesitation is, okay, you did that against the Celtics. Not a bad record at 24-18. What happens between now and the time the Lakers come back from their road trip? They're going on that Grammy trip. They're on a 6-game road trip. That, to me, I think is going to be the bigger question, because you can get up for the Boston Celtics. You can get up, trying to win a game or prove to others, or maybe even prove to the front office, like, hey, go improve this roster. And we'll get into all those other storylines that came out of last night's game as well. But to me, I think that's my pause and my hesitation. My pause and hesitation is, okay, you beat the Celtics. You look pretty damn good doing it. You got some help coming up with Jared Vanderbilt. You know who's going to help this team. You had a number of different players contribute last night. I don't care that the Celtics won a second of a back. I don't care about any of the details. You beat the Boston Celtics and you beat them handily. This is the only thing that I pause for hesitation. Here's where I pause. Let me tell you guys the next 6 games for the Lakers, and you guys can tell me what should the Lakers record be over the next 6 games. And I'll tell you where I will start kind of turning my head towards, okay, you know what? No, Lakers could potentially be in the thick of this thing, or they could be in the mix with another roster move, with Vandal coming back and everything else. Here's their next 6 games, okay? Let me actually pull this, because I think this would be better. Let me pull the NBA standings so I could look at them at the same time. So at least by doing that, I could give you the team's records as we do it. So let me do this real quick. Everybody just calm down, relax. I know people in the chat right now, I'm not looking, but I'm assuming are saying, sleep, let's go, brother. Okay, Golden State Warriors. They got them on Saturday. Here are the Warriors right now, 22-22. Team that's been all over the place, too. I don't think anybody's looking at the Warriors and thinking they're a threat. The bigger question with the Warriors is, should they be sellers? Should they be this? Should they be that? Whatever the case is. Golden State Warriors, 4-6 in their last 10 games, 22-22 overall. I expect the Lakers to go into Golden State and handle business. Okay, let me keep going here. At Charlotte. Charlotte, one of the worst records in the NBA, 11-29, 4-6 in their last 10. At Philadelphia. I don't know Philly's situation. I don't know how long Joel Embiid is out for. I know they've lost 7 games in a row. They're 2-8 in their last 10. They're 15-27 overall are the Philadelphia 76ers. Wizards, 6-37. They've lost 12 in a row. They're 0-10 in their last. Well, they've lost 12 in a row. Put it that way. Okay, guys, this is the Lakers schedule coming up. Warriors, Charlotte, Philly, and Washington. And the best team on that list is the Golden State Warriors. Okay, let's keep going here. The New York Knicks, which is on a Saturday. The Knicks, that's a tough game. And then the Clippers on the road again, technically a Clippers home game. Can somebody tell me, if the Lakers don't go 4-2 or better, would that not just be an incredible disappointment? If they go 3-3 and they just, come back to LA and it's like, all right, they're 3-3. They went 3-3 on this trip, even though they played all these trash teams. Or at least most of these teams that are below 500. If you can follow up that Boston Celtics win with a 6-game road trip, where all of a sudden, kind of that team camaraderie, Vanderbilt is back. We'll see what happens by the time. What's kind of crazy about this too, by the time they actually come back, or by the time that road trip is done and everything, we're February 4th, 2 days before the trade deadline. That, to me, is going to be just – I think this is such a critical stretch for the Lakers. If you go 4-2 on that road trip, you're 8 games over 500. I think they would be 26-18. All right, now we're talking. I thought something LeBron said last night that was he said, hopefully the start of this second half of the season is better than the first half of the season. First 41 games, that was done after they played Washington. The game against the Boston Celtics last night, that was the start of the second half of the NBA season for the Lakers. And clearly, obviously off to a great start in regards to that. And we'll see what this Lakers team can do from there. But that's how I kind of look. That's how I assess. That's how I pay attention to what I just saw from this Lakers team last night against the Boston Celtics. How the hell are you going to follow it up? How are you going to follow it up? Because if you lose on Saturday night against the Golden State Warriors, doesn't that just kind of deflate everything? Here's the good news with the Lakers. They're 13-1 versus teams that are below 500. I know a lot of people don't care about that, but I will tell you that's winning the games you're supposed to win. Now they just got to start winning some games where it's a coin flip, or they're technically not supposed to win. All right, let's take a look at some of these comments here, and then we got a lot of other things to get into. Lakers looked hungry. I'm going to star one of these. Wait, where did that go? Yeah, I started. Okay. I got one that I'm going to come back to. It's on Dorian Finney-Smith. One game, Slee. You calm down. You calm down. Okay? You freaking calm down. Tell me to calm down. Got good coffee this morning. You don't tell me to calm down. I tell you to calm down. Barometer curse lifted. Barometer games. There you go. Look, now everybody's starting to share. I don't want you guys now. If I can't get you guys when I'm at my lowest point with the barometer games, I don't want you when all of a sudden a barometer game went the Lakers' way. I don't need you now. I needed you when I was 0 for 39 on the barometer games. Okay, let's keep looking at some of these comments here. I gotta just see. Sometimes these chats, man. I fall behind and then I can't catch up. All right, let's see. This trip will say a lot about what these Lakers are made of, whether they are for the championship or the play-in. Yeah, I think there's something to that. You know, and it doesn't even have to be, you know, hey, the West is running through the Lakers. It doesn't have to be that. All it means is any night that the Lakers go out, they got the capability of beating everybody. Or all it means is other teams that are out there and are saying to themselves, you know, I'd prefer not to play the Lakers in the 7-game set. That's really what you're hoping for. Lakers 4-1 in their last 5, I think. Come on, you can't throw I think out there. What if I'm depending on you right now? I'll tell you right now. I got to do the research on this. I'll do it. Okay. What did the Lakers do? They beat Miami. They beat Brooklyn by 1. They beat Washington. They beat Boston. 4-1 in their last 5. You're right. Couple scary moments there, like the Brooklyn game. But yes, they've won 4 of their last 5 games. We have only 4 more losses than the Celtics. Hey, I'll keep saying this, which I think yesterday we were all talking about and we were agreeing. Like, hey, how is this team? What do you mean they're, you know, what does it mean that they're 5th place in the Western Conference? Well, you win a game like last night, it makes you feel better about that. Okay, a couple more comments, and then I want to get into some of the stuff that that Anthony Davis said yesterday as well. Let me get into this one real quick, just because it's here. DFS is a joke. You know, I saw a lot of this yesterday. DFS didn't have a point yesterday. Now, yeah, I think it was plus 20 in the plus minus, but Lakers blew them out. So how much is that from Dorian Finney-Smith, and how much of that is you know, from just the Lakers winning the game? I don't know. Don't lose faith in Dorian Finney-Smith. I'm telling you, this guy is going to be an asset for the Lakers. And maybe he's just more of an asset in bigger games, or maybe he's just more of an asset. It's the type of player that you want during a playoff game. Don't lose faith in DFS. He's a good player. I'm sure still kind of trying to figure out, you know, his role and everything else, but I would not think that DFS is not a good player. It doesn't matter what I say. I'm just saying that I guarantee you we're going to have games in the near future where I'm coming on the post-game show, or I'm coming on this show, and we're sitting back and we're talking about, hey, Dorian Finney-Smith had a really impactful game for the Lakers. Remember, impact doesn't just mean you drop 25. Impact means, are you helping the team win? DFS's job is not to be Anthony Davis, LeBron James, or Austin Reeves. DFS's job is give them 12 to 16 points a night, hit a couple of threes, and play solid defense. That's his job. That's what they traded for. So for those out there that are not that crazy about DFS, I get it. I understand. I kind of understand where people are coming from in regards to that, because he has not played all that. He will come through. He will come through. He will come through for the Lakers, and I think we'll look back and more people will feel comfortable about DFS. All right, let me get to a couple comments here. Mr. X, relax, bro, relax. It's Sliwa's chat. We're on the chat here. Relax. Take a deep breath. Where's my quote? Dang it. I got to bring the quote back. Without gratitude, there's no prosperity. Come on. Relax over there. All right, let's keep going. I love all you guys. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm going to all right. Let me okay. There's a little support here for Vando. Vando plays defense. Let me see here. There was a couple more. DFS is a defensive stopper. DFS, no, that one's the other one I got. If you think Vando and DFS are the same, you need glasses. They are not the same, but they're both going to be incredibly crucial. DFS was very active on defense. Laker fans, could I tell you guys something? Sometimes I think I saw this. I think I saw it this morning. Trevor Lane, my brother from another mother with Lakers Nation. I think he put something out there, something that said, it was something that kind of towards the effect of like, can people just stop complaining for a night and just appreciate that the Lakers, had a nice win against the Boston Celtics? I'm telling you guys, it's not always like this. You don't always, we've had plenty of times where we're talking Lakers basketball and there's nothing to cheer about or there's nothing to root for. From last night's game, there should be nothing that you guys are taking negatively from that game. Okay, I got to keep it moving here. There's more that I want to get into. So yesterday during the game, I don't know, it was during the game or right before, article comes out. Really, video comes out because it was predominantly video anyways. But I was just pulling quotes from it. And I'm just going to do the quotes because sometimes when I play video, there's some music behind it. I might get hit with some copyright restrictions and all that other stuff. Anthony Davis had to sit down with Shams Charania. All right. So it's kind of fascinating here. I already know I'm going to frustrate Laker fans because there's going to be a lot of people that say, Al, I told you so. How many times have we been talking about this? But let me get into, what the article was about. And I really want to spend time making sure that the Lakers front office knows exactly what their priorities are and understands what voices are heard and which one should be louder than the others. Okay? So let me tell you what I mean by that. Anthony Davis sat down with Shams of ESPN and basically made it very clear what he wants the Lakers to do before the deadline. All right? So let me kind of weave off of some of this stuff about last night's game and let me kind of talk a little bit more. Let me talk a little bit more about that article and kind of moving forward for the Lakers. All right, let me read you guys the quote of what Anthony Davis said, and then there's going to be Laker fans that have a migraine, but let's get into it anyways, okay? Anthony Davis, in the sit-down interview with Shams, was talking about what the Lakers need, and then he specifically started talking about 2019 and 2020. He says, I think we need another big. I feel like I've always been at my best when I've been a 4 and having a big out there. We know it worked when we won a championship with JaVale and Dwight, them at the 5, and I'm on the floor. Okay, then he went on to talk about, I think our 2019-2020 team was the perfect construction of a team. We had shooters, we had dogs defensively, we had scores. Everybody knew their role. Okay. And then Shams says, it sounds like to me that you're saying you guys are maybe a couple pieces away. We are. I feel like we really are. All right. A lot of angles to take on this. Okay. First off, I know there's Laker fans out there right now that are saying, Slee, I told you, man. I've had so many people over the years tell me, Slee, why did they break up the 2019-2020 championship team? Why? All right, maybe the Lakers got too cute. But I will tell you this. We'll never know what that team could have been because Anthony Davis got injured in the playoffs. Remember, they got Dennis Schroeder. Remember, they got Marc Gasol. Remember, they got Montrezl Harrell. I think the Lakers had a stacked roster in 2021 as well, 2020-2021 season. But Anthony Davis got hurt. First, second round, I can't remember, against the Phoenix Suns. and Lakers end up losing that series. I think they were up 2-1. AD goes down. That's a wrap. Lakers lost 5-6 games. I think 6 games is where they lost. And then Phoenix ends up losing in the finals against the Milwaukee Bucks. Interesting that Anthony Davis, before the trade deadline, in a conversation with Shams, is saying that blueprint that you had there, bring that blueprint back as best as you can, right? Like that team was, we forget how stacked that team was. Earlier in the week, I think I was talking about it. Think about all the play. LeBron and Anthony Davis 5 years ago. So you're talking about LeBron 35 years old, and whether you were thinking that was the end of his career or not, okay, clearly it wasn't, and he was an absolute stud back then. Anthony Davis, 5 years younger. Okay, and then go through the rest of the team. Dwight, JaVale, Rajon Rondo, Danny Green, Avery Bradley, Kyle Kuzma, KCP, Alex Caruso. That team was so stacked. All right, you can't go back to what that Lakers team was, but what you can say is, can you potentially build a model that's similar to that? Let me put aside what the 2019-2020 season was and what the Lakers had. Here's the most important thing that I took from that quote that Anthony Davis had. AD is not, maybe I got to imagine Anthony Davis has had plenty of conversations in the background with guys like Rob Pelinka, with that front office, and he's told them, here's what I'm looking for. Get me another big. I'm going to be more effective. There's more that I could do defensively. I could kind of roam around a little bit more. And oh, by the way, if there's times you need me at the 5, that's fine. But at least let's have an option of having a good big that I could play side by side with, because I had it with Dwight and JaVale McGee, and that's when I was at my best. He's pleading to the Lakers front office. He probably had these conversations in the background. Now he's like, I'm going to sit down with Shams. F it. I'm just going to tell Shams exactly what I'm looking for. There was an article a couple days ago, remember, that there was growing concern of how the Lakers can put together a roster, a championship roster with the assets that they have, and they still haven't used them. If I'm Rob Pelinka and I'm sitting down this morning and that interview came out last night, I'm going to do absolutely everything possible to give the most important player on our franchise exactly what he wants. I'd be doing that anyways. I would have done that before there was a conversation that had to come out with Shams Charania. Who is the most important player on this Lakers roster right now today? It ain't LeBron. It's Anthony Davis. If you don't think it's Anthony Davis, I don't know what you want me to tell you. I'm not taking anything away from LeBron James, but he's 40 years old, and I don't know a year from now if he's still going to be playing in the NBA. I don't know if 2 years from now he's been retired and the Lakers completely moved on. I know Anthony Davis is the present and he is the future. I know if Anthony Davis doesn't play in a game, the Lakers are screwed. I know if Anthony Davis decided tomorrow, you know what? I was playing for the Lakers to give me what I wanted and they didn't do it. You know what? If LeBron's done here, I think I'm done as well. What are the Lakers going to do then? They're screwed. Absolutely screwed. You have to make sure Anthony Davis is happy. Anthony Davis is the most important piece within that franchise when they play. Right now, if you tell me, you go top to bottom, look at the roster, look at the front office, look at the coaching staff, any personnel of the Los Angeles Lakers, the most important person within that organization is Anthony Davis. It took Anthony Davis to go sit down with Shams on ESPN to tell the whole world, I need another big. You're going to tell me that hasn't been happening indirectly behind the scenes? And of course it has. Anthony Davis has to go public to tell everybody. You think this is going to help Rob Pelinka in his negotiations? You think this morning Rob is going out there and he's saying, oh, shit, you know what? Guys, Anthony Davis wants to play with a big. Let me give Utah a quick call real quick, see where they are with Walker Kessler. You know what? Wizards, let me shoot them a call real quick. Jonas still available? What's going on there? Do you think those teams, like the Utah Jazz with Danny Ainge, knowing how desperate Anthony Davis is basically pleading this Lakers team, get me another big, you think they're going to sit back there and say, you know what, the price just went down on Walker Kessler. The price just went down on Jonas Valanciunas, Robert Williams. Think of any big that you want. I'm just talking about bigs in general, right? Names that have been associated with the Lakers. Of course, the price didn't go down. That's the problem with yesterday's quote. That's the problem with yesterday's video with Anthony Davis and Shams. Anthony Davis is opening up to Shams. Through Shams, he's telling the front office and everybody else, get me a damn big. Guys, listen. If, what was it, a few days ago after the Lakers played the loss to the Clippers on Sunday night, LeBron had the quote about team construction. This is the way the team is constructed. We got no margin for error. Bron was indirectly telling the front office, this isn't good enough. We can't compete with this. I'm not telling you that LeBron's message is not important, but what I'm telling you is Anthony Davis's message is a lot more important. Because Anthony Davis, 2 years from now, you're hoping is still a Los Angeles Laker. You're hoping is now we've put a team together around Anthony Davis and another star. I don't think Anthony Davis is going to be your A player and that's it. But Anthony Davis is going to be the guy that you're hoping for in 2 years is the box office attraction, is taking the Lakers to the playoffs and potentially to the promised land. That's what you're hoping for. It ain't going to be LeBron. If this was 2019, 2020 and LeBron said something, everybody else shut up. LeBron's talking. But in 2025, on January 24th, 2025, when AD speaks, everybody else shut the hell up. That's how I look at it. And I don't know if, Rob Pelinka is making his life any easier by simply, not accommodating to what Anthony Davis wants. All right, let me look at some of the comments here and then go from there. All right, let's see here. I'm way behind on the comments, so I'm gonna keep going here. By the way, this makes nobody's job any easier. And I 100% believe I'm going to kind of explain this from a Pelinka perspective in just a second as well. All right, let's take a look at some of these comments here. Get Robert Williams. Okay, I'm going to get into which player they should get because there was an article yesterday about Walker Kessler that I want to talk about. And then that price is going up. All right, let's read one here. Al, when Bron retires, AD will ask out. Watch, they need a wake-up call if they don't get him a big. The front office needs what Jimmy to happen to their superstar leaving them. Well, here's the beauty. I don't think Anthony Davis has ever showed he doesn't want to be a Laker. It feels like Anthony Davis likes being here. What I don't know about Anthony Davis, would AD say down the road, okay, well, if Bron's done, you know what? Let me try a different chapter. I want to go somewhere else. I don't have that answer. I have no idea if that's going to happen. But I also wouldn't be surprised at all that Anthony Davis stays with the Lakers long term. Is here for the next 5 years. I wouldn't be surprised if Anthony Davis is here. You got to accommodate to him. You have to accommodate to Anthony Davis. All right, let me see what else we got here. AD saw Joker's stats last night and panicked. Everybody panics with Joker. Pelinka won't give up any first-round picks. No trade will happen with a great player. Slee, let me translate AD's request. We have exactly zero chance to beat Denver in playoffs unless we get a big. Our own fans calling 2020 luck is blasphemy. Y'all got to be – that team came together perfect. That team was stacked. Anybody that doesn't think that team couldn't have won a championship without the bubble or whatever the case is, I don't know what the hell you want me to tell you. That team was stacked. 2019, 2020, the team was stacked. By the way, the team was top 3 in the NBA as far as record goes, and they were also one of the favorites to win an NBA championship. So I don't know what you want me to tell you. Could they have lost if COVID didn't happen? Sure. But it's not a surprise that they won either. Straight facts. Slee, you're preaching. Facts. All right, keep going here. All right, now I want to spend a little bit of time. Let me see here. Clutch might not be happy. Clutch might not be too happy with Rob and company. Bron spoke, then AD spoke. That's Rich Paul speaking. I don't disagree with you. Or they're just putting the full court press on. They did it far in advance, too. It's like a couple weeks before the trade deadline. And they're coming out in advance like, all right, well, the hell do we got to lose? Let's put the pressure on this Lakers team. Listen, I don't mind Lakers going all in. If tomorrow you told me, let me take this from Rob Pelinka's perspective here for a quick second. Let me see one more here. Windhorse just said that the Lakers are not ready to trade first round picks. I don't believe that. I believe that's all posturing and positioning, all of it. I believe you're supposed to say that. But let me play this real quick from Rob Pelinka's perspective, and then I'll get back to some of these comments here. So, my main point from that article was you better accommodate to Anthony Davis, because the last thing you want is, last year Anthony Davis in the playoffs is talking about his head coach. He's saying, yeah, I don't know what we're doing on both sides of the floor. This year, he's clearly telling you, here's what I need if you want me to be at my best. And if we're going to take this team where every Laker fan is hoping that they go, which is a true run. Nobody's guaranteeing a championship or anything. No, nobody's saying. I'm just saying that you just want to be a threat, and then we'll see what happens. They won't be one of the favorites unless there's, a big time trade that the Lakers make, which is probably not likely. Let me explain Rob Pelinka's position and his perspective here. Okay. I do think that articles like this coming out does not help Rob Pelinka in his negotiation. It's not going to help him. I do think that Rob Pelinka has watched this Lakers team, and if we were doing this show Monday morning, last Monday, and Lakers had just lost to the Clippers, and their record team's below 500. They hadn't beat the Boston Celtics yet. They've looked, they almost lost that game to the Brooklyn Nets. They only won by 1. I'm sure there's moments where Rob Pelinka is saying to himself, I don't want to waste any more assets on this team. I can't. My job is to make sure that this team is constructed properly for the present and the future, but my job is also to be responsible. And has this Lakers team given Rob Pelinka enough reason and incentive to say, 2 first-rounders, I don't care, whatever it takes, we're trying to win right now? A lot of people would make an argument that no, that they're not making, the Lakers have not made that case in order for him to be ultra aggressive. But here's the problem with Rob Pelinka. Here's the issue that I have with Rob. The issue I have with Rob is you already traded for Dorian Finney-Smith. So clearly your mindset is not to be sellers, and your mindset is to still try to compete with LeBron and AD. You got these 2 first-rounders that you've had for, you had 3 first-rounders this summer. You used Dalton Connect on one of them. Nice to see Dalton Connect did some shots yesterday. Hopefully that helps him. But you've been saying now for a year and a half, you got these first-rounders that you're going to be shopping around. You're still holding on to them. Sometimes you just don't have a choice. Sometimes the market is what it is. If you wanted to buy a home in the last 5 years and you sat back like your man here and did nothing, and you keep saying, well, the prices are too high. Okay, that's fine. The prices are too high. But do you know that the prices are going to go down? Is something happening in the world where you feel like, okay, yeah, but I got a feeling that because of this and because of that and because of this, prices will eventually start dropping? Okay, well, they haven't dropped. So that means you either are going to buy a home and pay what the market value is, or you're going to keep renting. Rob Pelinka is like playing this game within the market, saying, that price is too high for that player. Well, I don't know if the price is too high for that player. That might just be the price. And I don't know if that price is going to change. There was an article yesterday. I'm going to give you guys, this is a perfect segue. There was an article yesterday. Asking price for Jazz's Walker Kessler is really high. Okay? Shams had put this out. It was First Take. He said, that team that they had won the championship 2019-20, how do you get back to that model? That's including fighting a center. The Lakers have been active in that trade market to go find a center in the marketplace. Every time they call on Walker Kessler in Utah, that asking price is really high, so that front office is trying to make calls and doing its due diligence. But at the end of the day, it takes 2 teams to tango, and they have not been able to find deals as of yet. Guys, I don't know what you want me to tell you. You've been promoting for a year and a half that you got these first rounders. You let the world know that you're open for business. And then here you are a year and a half later, and you still haven't made a move. the price just might be what it is. Now they got a little bit of time. Under 2 weeks now left before the trade deadline. I'm not encouraging the Lakers to be irresponsible, but what I'm encouraging the Lakers to do, go get a big. Sometimes you just got to go make a move. Sometimes you just got to go get it done. If we're sitting here 2 weeks from now, February 7th, 2 weeks from now is February 7th. If we're sitting here on February 7th and the Lakers did not improve and they did not go get a big, you know what my concern is there? That Anthony Davis has less confidence in the front office. Clearly, LeBron, we already know, would have less confidence in the front office. That Laker fans would have less confidence in the front office. And that, Rob Pelinka would be sitting there holding those first-round picks and wasting really probably the last opportunity to go make a run. Got to do one or the other. You can't stand in the middle. I do think Pelinka will eventually make a move, and he's probably going to have to overpay. But that's the price of doing business. And if you don't want to pay fair market price, then don't tell everybody that you're going to go out there and improve the roster and use your first rounders. And a year and a half later, you're still holding on to your first rounders. All right, let's keep going here. You know what I deserve right now? I deserve a cup of coffee. A sip of my coffee. Such a weird position. Such a weird position to be in, because what he's trying to do is be responsible for the team. The problem is he kind of shot himself in the foot when he went out there. I think he felt all the pressure of, last offseason with a trade deadline, they don't make a move. And he probably felt the pressure of like, well, let me just hype everybody up that I got all these draft picks and I'm going to use them. Summer goes by. They make no moves. And then here they are now in a position where clearly, guys, if Anthony Davis doesn't come out with that quote, maybe I feel a little bit differently about this whole thing. Anthony Davis went out publicly yesterday with Shams and basically told him, here's exactly what I need. Why aren't I getting it? All right, let's see a couple of your comments here. Slee, what do you think of the Jazz? What do you think the Jazz asking for Kessler? Minimum, they're asking for a first rounder. Can I tell you what I would look at with Walker Kessler? Here's the question that I would ask. Do you think you could get a Walker Kessler type of player in the draft? Kind of like a 12-10 guy with a couple block shots a game. I think you got to just ask yourself. First rounders are so hit and miss. Second rounders are so hit and miss. Can you get a proven player that you feel like can be a part of the Lakers' future for the next 3-4 years? If you feel like you can, isn't that the weight of a first rounder? That's how I look at it. That's how I would look at it. Dorian Finney-Smith. Okay, Lakers gave up all those second rounders, D'Lo's expiring contract. I got to be honest. That's a good kind of haul for the Brooklyn Nets as well. They're not going anywhere. What do they care? They can go try to find a steal in the second round. They got the expiring contract of D'Angelo Russell. But it's what the Lakers need right now, and that's kind of the spot that they're in. All right, let me get a couple more in here. No money, no honey. I like that. That's the quote for Monday. No money, no honey. Rob has lied almost 3 years about how eager he was to use those picks. He's a greasy liar. Okay, Andre, come on. Calm down here. Come down. He sold us the timeshare. We all bought the timeshare. I don't think he's a greasy liar. I think he overpromised and underdelivered. I've told you guys this before. If there's anything you take out of today's show, take this. Always underpromise and overdeliver. Always. Always underpromise and overdeliver. Tell you guys a quick story. It's a very random. But back when I had first moved to LA, I would go drive down to San Diego over the weekends. I go spend some time with my parents. And I remember I would tell my dad if I was an hour away from getting home, I would tell my dad, hey, I'll be there in 45 minutes. So I'll tell him I'll be there in 30 minutes. I was telling him what he wanted to hear. And then when I get home, my dad would be like, what the hell? He'd be all frustrated. You said you're going to be here at 9:45. It's 10:30. So my cousin's like, Al, you're playing it all wrong. Tell him you're going to get there at 11, and then you'll be there at 10:30, and your dad's going to think you're a hero. I'm like, all right, that's it. I'm going with that strategy. Since then, I'm like, always under promise, over deliver. Rob Pelinka overpromised Laker fans, and he's under-delivering. What he should have always said, from the start was, um, I'm not going to promise anything. My job is to make sure that any move that we make is in the best interest of the organization, short-term and long-term. Of course, I'm keeping short-term in mind. And without saying, guys, I got 2 picks. Hey, I got 3 picks starting in the summer. I think he felt the pressure and just wanted to tell people what they wanted to hear. All right, let's get another one here. Let's see what else. Give them both firsts. Get Walker Kessler. It's that simple. Do it. Yeah, I think if you offered both firsts for Walker Kessler, Danny Ainge will privately fly Walker Kessler to LA. No, he'll drive him here. He'll drive him here. Listen, they still got time. I know with negotiations, you know, uh, usually putting some type of a deadline helps negotiations. And there's a deadline coming, and it's February 6th. Here's the good thing. By the time we get to February 6th, it's not like the Lakers season is going to crater. It's not like they're going to be in a position where, all of a sudden they're out of the playoff picture or something like that. I mean, in a weird way, they've kind of given themselves a little bit of a cushion. Some weird things have happened in the Western Conference that have worked to their advantage. They're in 5th place in the West. Dallas, we know their injuries. Minnesota, I don't know what the hell they are. They're all over the place. Sacramento finally got a loss, but they're obviously playing better basketball. Phoenix, what's going to happen with them? So they've at least put themselves in the position that over the next 2 weeks, the world's not going to end. And they got, these 6 home games. If they went, and I hope this doesn't happen, they go 3-3 in their next 6 home games or their next 6 road games. They go 3-3. Well, they still come back 6 games over 500 at the trade deadline. And, by then, they're still in I think, a decent position to, if they have improved their roster, Vando's now back in the lineup, they could start taking some steps forward. All right. Couple more comments here, and then I want to switch into a couple things, and then we'll look at these comments again. Slee, will you say if no moves come February 6th and Pelinka says can't buy a house, let's see here, can't buy a house, not for sale again? Can you imagine that? I don't think he's putting himself back in that position. I've used that quote a lot. Can't buy a home that's not for sale. Here's the problem with that quote. A lot of other teams made moves. So just because you didn't, buy a home or you couldn't find a home that was not for sale, there were other teams out there that were buying homes. So the analogy didn't work across the board. It's not like, I get it. The NBA is a little bit more complicated. The aprons, the first apron, second apron. I get all that. I understand that. And maybe there truly is. I actually do believe this. I do believe there's a Laker tax. I do believe that there are other teams that, especially when you got players that are out there that are Anthony Davis coming out and saying what he said, and, LeBron talking about the construction of the team. None of that stuff helps. None of that stuff helps Rob Pelinka in making a decision. So that part I think is, I think there's some truth to. Let's see here. The CBA destroyed the trade vibes. Yeah, it's definitely made it more difficult. But guys, teams are still making trades. They're still making moves. So I still think that, moves are to be, moves are still going to go down. Moves are still going to happen. It's just going to be a matter of, what the Lakers are able to do. All right. I want to keep things moving. I'm going to come off the Lakers here for a little bit. I got a couple baseball related things I want to get into. And then I'm going to spend some time on some of these NFL games here real quick. So you can keep the comments going. Please subscribe to the channel if you've yet to subscribe to the channel. I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. You guys know my baseball squad. You guys know that Jerks and Profar, or you guys know that I'm a San Diego Padre fan, originally from San Diego. Jerks and Profar signed with the Atlanta Braves yesterday. He signed a 3-year deal, $42 million, which I'm going to tell you right now, the Padres were going to pay nothing close to that. Do you know what Jerks and Profar made last year? By the way, a lot of people know Profar because if you're a Dodger fan, him and Will Smith had a little bit of a run-in, but Profar was an all-star last year, so give that man a lot of credit. By the way, he was an all-star, made $1 million with the Padres last year, so he had such a good season that he got paid out. Atlanta went and paid him. But a lot of people, if you're a Dodger fan, you know him because his kind of his back and forth with Will Smith. You know him because in the playoffs, robbed Mookie Betts of a home run and chirped with the fans a little bit. It led to some other stuff. We all know what happened after that. So that's how people know him. Profar was kind of one of those players that heart and soul, probably not, maybe that's a little bit too aggressive, but was an important player for the Padres last year. What the hell happened to the San Diego Padres this offseason? Man, I'm going to tell you guys something. And, we've had this conversation before about how important ownership is. The reason why the Padres all of a sudden over the last 5 years were in the mix, were super aggressive. We're trading for guys like Juan Soto. We're trading for players like Tanner Scott, Dylan Cease, Michael King, Luis Ariz. They went out there and made a lot of moves over these last couple of years, and they made the playoffs 3 of the last 5 years, and they faced the Dodgers every single one of those years, and were very, very competitive. Ownership is everything, guys. I mean, you guys look at sports, and I know a lot of Dodger fans talk about this a lot when they talk about Frank McCourt and what that era was to what then you got the Guggenheim Group, what that era is today. Go look at sports. The Washington Commanders got a playoff game on Sunday. I think they're the noon game. I think they're the earlier game. They have a playoff game that if they win that game, they're going to be in the Super Bowl. Ownership changed 2 years ago. Was it Daniel Snyder? I think that was his first name. Was ownership for Washington for years. And for 19 years, they didn't win a playoff game. Ownership is everything. Here's where the Padres are, unfortunately. Their owner passes away, was battling with cancer for years, Peter Seidler. And here's what's happened, really since he passed away. A tremendous season last year. The Padres were still kind of in full rhythm of saying, okay, let's go out there, let's make moves, let's make deals. Traded, obviously, Juan Soto to go get kind of a haul back that helped them last year make it to the playoffs and go 5 games against the Dodgers. But now all of a sudden that payroll starting to come back. Now all of a sudden that money that was being thrown out there, those bad contracts are really starting to show. They've done nothing in the offseason. Nothing. And what's complicating everything as well, Sheil Seidler, which is Peter Seidler's, the widow of Peter Seidler. So his wife has sued Peter Seidler's brothers in order to basically take control of the team. The team is in complete disarray right now. You don't know who ownership is. There was an article that came out. Why did Roki Sasaki sign with the Dodgers? I'm sure there were a number of reasons why he chose the Dodgers. One of the quotes that he said from Roki Sasaki, I think the number one thing that stood out was the stability of the front office. Does that not say everything right there about the direction that the San Diego Padres are going in and the direction of the Los Angeles Dodgers? I've told you guys this before, and I genuinely believe it. I think what the Padres and the Dodgers kind of had going over these last couple of years, that's good for baseball. It's good for Southern California. I think one of the idiotic things that Dean Spanos did, the owner of the Chargers, was moving up to LA. I think you want San Diego versus LA. I think you want, hypothetically, if the Chargers were still in San Diego, they have their own stadium. You want that competition between the two markets. It's good. It's 2 hours away. It's one of the things, I went to the East Coast during the summer, and I went there because I wanted to go to a Padres-Phillies game, and I had a buddy of mine that's out in the Maryland area, that Maryland-Baltimore area that I wanted to go visit. And you know what's so cool about that area? Within a couple of hours, you got the New York teams, the Boston teams, the Philly teams, the Baltimore teams, and the Washington, the DC teams, all within a few hours together. And they all kind of have their own little, rivalries amongst each other because of that. That's good for business. I thought for baseball, when they would show those promos, Padres, Dodgers, SD, LA, all that stuff, I was like, this is as good of a rivalry as we're seeing of any of these other baseball teams that are out there. Very, very, very disappointing offseason. Listen, Jerks and Profar, if you can go get paid 3 years, $42 million, go do it. Tanner Scott, the Padres weren't going to go pay 72 mil like the Dodgers did. And now AJ Preller, who's the president of baseball operations for the Padres, he's going to go have to work some kind of magic, but you can only work so much magic. If depending on the resources that you have, there's only so much that you can do. But that quote, the Roki quote, that it really just came down to the stability of the front office. I thought about this once Roki signed with the Dodgers. I'm like, even if you're Shiel Seidler and you're about to go sue and try to take control of the team, could you not have waited until the offseason was over? Could you not have waited until Roki Sasaki made a decision? Maybe it wouldn't have changed it, but you think it helped it? You're dealing with a franchise in the Dodgers that they got their I's dotted. They got their T's crossed. They got everything is in order. They got all the money that you could think of. They got their TV deal in order as well. So they're making billions off of that. They got a Guggenheim group that's got endless amount of money. You got Andrew Friedman, that's probably the best president of baseball operations. You got the LA market. You got Shohei Ohtani. You got now an influx of new money that's coming in because of what you're doing with the Japanese market, the Asian markets. They got everything. How do you compete with that when I'll tell you how you compete with that. You make sure your shit's in order. I mean, you can always compete. This isn't even when I look at baseball, I look at teams like the St. Louis Cardinals, the Atlanta Braves. You could be in smaller markets and compete every single year. There's no question you can compete. I mean, I think what the Dodgers are doing right now, I don't know if we've ever seen anything like this before, how they're doing it, the deferrals, what Shohei has brought to the table, all that stuff. It's a different gorilla now that you're competing with, a different beast that you're dealing with, but you can compete. That I believe in any market, anytime that you can compete. What you can't have happen is you got ownership issues, you got front office issues, you got bad contracts. You can't compete with that. So if your stuff's not together, how the hell are you going to compete with already? I think the Padres are the third best team in the NL West now. I think it's Dodgers, Arizona, and then it's probably the Padres and the Giants. Padres probably better than the Giants because they still got some pitching. We'll see what they end up doing with everybody else. But what a shitty offseason. Just a shitty offseason. All right, let's take a look at a couple of the comments here. All right, let's see what we got here. Padres have done tons in the offseason. None of it is good. That part's true. Tatis hasn't been, the problem with Tatis, he's just not healthy enough. He's not healthy for 162. That's his problem. Just not healthy enough. Sleep. Yeah, okay, here's a perfect example. Richard, thank you for chiming in here. Ownership's everything, guys. Everything. Artie Moreno, think that guy knows what the hell he's doing in Anaheim? Go bring any new ownership in there. It changes. Ownership is everything. All right, that's another one here. No crap talk for now. Padres did what teams should be doing. They saw a window of possibility, and they went for it. One of the things that I saw out there, and guys, just to give everyone an idea, obviously this channel, very Laker-centric, very NBA-centric. But I do want the show to be 12 months out of the year. And in order to do so, there's going to be other topics that I'm going to get into that, hopefully you guys have interest in. So just a heads up on that. I got to be weaving in other stuff. Obviously, I'll still give you guys a ton of Laker stuff as well. But hopefully we could have good baseball conversations, good basketball conversations, and everything else, especially or NFL conversations as the season goes along. They saw a window of possibility and they went for it. I was talking to Doug McCain of DMAC of Dodgers Nation. I remember one time we were talking. He's like, Al, what I respect about AJ Preller and the Padres is they didn't look at the Dodgers and say, we got no shot against them. This is their window. Let's just get the hell out of the way. They just said, screw it. We're just going to go for it right now. That part I do agree with, but it's the trajectory of where they're going that's the problem. Let's see what we got here. Sleep. Padres push all their chips in the center of the table in order to win and failed. Now they pay for it. I don't mind pushing. I don't mind pushing all your chips in the table. The problem is where they're sitting today. There's disarray. Let me tell you this, if the Padres pushed all their chips to the center of the table, and then in the offseason, they just, the front office was still like, okay, guys, look, Dodgers won last year. Give them credit. Our bats went cold. What did we do wrong last year? Let's build from it. And let's just go back out there and try it again. The problem is the team's not going to look the same. Obviously, the Dodgers there's nothing you could do about what the Dodgers are doing. There really, truly isn't. What they're doing is what they're doing. The only thing that you can hope for, maybe, this would be one concern for the Dodgers. Maybe there isn't chemistry, right? Maybe just because you put together an all-star MVP team, maybe it doesn't just all click together. You just don't know, right? Things on paper look one way. What happens when the season starts? Competing against the Dodgers, trying to beat the Dodgers at their own game, that ain't happening. You just gotta you gotta worry about yourself. That's the best way to do it. You got to worry about yourself. You got to worry about what can we do internally to be the absolute best we can. And the Padres right now, there's questions, think about all the questions that are associated with them. Slee, what's the scouting report on Tanner Scott? Stud. He's a stud. He's filthy. I mean, hell, you guys saw it in the playoffs. Shohei couldn't hit him. Tanner Scott and Shohei Ohtani, when those two went up against each other, they were putting up some of the stats during the playoffs and then previous matchups that they had because he was in Miami. So, obviously they're still playing against each other. He's filthy. He's dirty. He's a southpaw, too. Coming out of the bullpen. He was a closer for Miami. He wasn't the closer for the Padres. Padres kind of just went to this, they had a closer already, but they were using him in certain spots. He's filthy. All right. I think we're good in that regard. Okay, let's keep the show going here. Real quick, I got something on Shohei's interpreter. Did you guys see this? I'm going to share it with you because I can't exactly I'll get into some more Laker stuff. If you guys got Laker stuff on there, we'll hit on that towards a little bit towards the end here. Let me share this with you guys. What the hell am I reading here? Federal prosecutors recommend a 57-month prison sentence Thursday for Ippei Muzahara, the former interpreter for the Los Angeles Dodgers, Shohei Ohtani. All right, let's keep going down here. Can't make this stuff up. I really, really want to see some kind of Netflix special on this. Guys, Muzahara, Ippei was trying to impersonate Ohtani on 24 separate occasions in order to wire money from Ohtani's account. Who am I speaking with? The bank employee asked in the recording, which was first obtained by The Athletic. Shohei Ohtani, Muzahara replied. Okay, let's keep going here. What is your relationship to the payee? The agent asked. He's my friend. Have you met your friend in person? Yes, many times. I just asked because we haven't been able to verify the transaction. This man was calling banks and pretending to be Shohei Ohtani and did it up to 24 times. How about this? Just to kind of play a little bit more on this. Muzahara placed about 19,000 bets and accumulated over $40 million in debt over a 2-year period. Can I say this about Shohei? Either that dude has so much money and does not notice $40 million gone because his bank account has hundreds and hundreds. By the way, if I had $600 million in the bank and all of a sudden I woke up one day and it said 560, I would notice it. Either he's got so much money in the bank, or I'm sorry, he's kind of an idiot. How do you not know 40 million is missing? Or he had so much trust in some person that he obviously didn't notice it as well. But Muzahara, Ippei, goes on. The article just kind of goes on and talks about how he's had, issues with gambling and everything else. Obviously, clearly he's had that. But the story that I saw about literally here is the conversations that he's having with an agent, asking for the money to be wired. Prosecutors also recommend Muzahara pay nearly $17 million in restitution to Ohtani, as well as $1.1 million to the IRS. All right, we'll see what eventually happens. I'm reading this thing and I'm saying to myself, this can't be real. Come on, guys. Come on, this can't be real. This can't be real. No, it's real. No, it's real. All right, let's see what else we have here. See, he's not watching his money like that. I almost got the feeling that he's childlike in that regard. Brother, I'm just telling you this. I get it. Some people, if you have F you mother effing money, right? Because that's what Shohei has. I get it. You're not looking at your account every day and saying, what's this charge from Spectrum? Well, I don't know. They said $49.99 a month. This says $64.99 a month. I understand that he's not looking at a $15 fee. My brother, 40 million. 40 mil. 17 mil in losses. That's just that's crazy to me. Just absolutely crazy. All right, let's keep things moving here. I know we're already at a $1.05 or whatever the case is. By the way, how nice would that be? How nice would that be if you could just yeah. I didn't know 40 mil was gone. I didn't know 17 mil was gone. I look at my account. I look in there, and I'm like, does Verizon think they're gonna get away with this $17? I'll go to war with Verizon over this $17. This guy like nothing. He should have asked the Dodgers for $717 million just to get back what Ipe took. That's what I would have done. All right, let's keep moving here. I want to talk the NFL games here real quick, and then I'm going to close out. The show today. I'm going to play the trailer of Netflix Court of Gold. If you guys have not seen this yet, it's about the USA men's basketball team, and it looks like it's about the other countries as well because I seen Jokic in there, I seen Wemby in the preview and everything else. I'm going to play that. That's going to be coming out soon, and I'm going to play it because it looks amazing. All right, let's see. Slee, you got to give us OT last night post-game show. I know. Post-game show was tough yesterday. It was tough yesterday. They were setting up for the Grammys. I'm like, guys, I have a post-game show on YouTube. What do you mean you're setting up for the Grammys? The Grammys can wait. They're like, let's go. Let's go, buddy. NFL games this weekend, a little bit of weekend preview action. It's going to be fun. Sunday is going to be fun. The best weekend in the NFL was last weekend because you had 2 games on Saturday, you had 2 games on Sunday. But you got the Commanders and the Eagles. That's a noon game on Fox. Then you got the Bills and the Chiefs at 3:30. I'll probably be rooting for the Commanders. I'm gonna roll with what I said, kind of what I've believed. I'm gonna go with Eagles win the Super Bowl. Every time I've watched the Eagles play, it's the perfect balance of offense and defense. I'll be rooting for the underdog. I don't mind seeing if the Commanders can do it. I kind of like the affiliation with Magic as well. Kind of cool what he's been able to do to try to help out how he has. It should be a fun game. The Commanders hadn't won a playoff game in 19 years, and here they are, game away. And good wins too. The win against the Lions last week, they just demolished Detroit. All those turnovers that they forced. Goff had a terrible game. Eagles obviously barely held on to beat the Rams to get to the NFC Championship game. The AFC Championship, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's like Bills and the Chiefs. I already see the Chiefs winning. I already see people disappointed at Josh Allen and the Bills. So I think it'd be a real upset if they beat them. I know most people would probably say, no, they can beat them, this, that. But until I actually see somebody beat the Chiefs, why would I feel like anybody is going to beat the Chiefs until this actually gets done? All right, let me set up this trailer. I want you guys to watch this thing. I think you guys are going to like this. And let me see, actually, before I do so, I think I had a couple supers here. Let me get to these supers here real quick. Assuming number 23 retires after season 23, Lakers going to the offseason with AD, Austin Reeves, Max Christie, Dalton Connect, Vando, 2026 first, and $90 million in cap space. Future is bright. I don't think LeBron's done after this year. I think we'll all know when LeBron's done. I feel like we're going to, I think LeBron's going to do it where, guys, this is my final season in the NBA. That's it. After this year, I am 100% done. And then I think he's going to get his tour. That's what I think is going to happen. So we'll see what happens. But Kevin, the positivity there, I got you. Clint Capella, maybe he'll be more motivated with Anthony Davis. Capella's always been kind of a very underrated, productive big in the NBA. Not a guy you're building around or anything like that, but rolls to the basket well, grabs rebounds, plays hard, plays defense. Capella's always been, a nice player in the NBA. So Richard, Kevin, thank you very much for the super. All right, let me set this up real quick. Let's set this up here. This is on Netflix. Ooh, this thing. This thing. Take a quick look at this trailer. We're going to watch it together, and then we will call it a day. Here is Court of Gold official trailer on Netflix. My goodness. My goodness. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. I don't know if you guys like that. You don't like that. I don't know what to tell you. I'm about to go run some laps outside. I'm going to do some sprints. That thing freaking looks phenomenal. That thing looks great. I love shows like that. So, anyways, that's going to be good. And the actual Olympic Games were good. Obviously, USA had some difficulties. You always knew they were going to win, but they had some difficulties. For me, it's kind of funny when I watch USA basketball. I don't have this like they're supposed to win. So when they win, it's no big deal. But I like seeing the other countries, what it means to guys like Jokic, what it means to guys like Wemby, what it means for their country. It's phenomenal. All right, my people, let me give everyone just kind of a quick idea of what we got going on here these next couple of days. So tomorrow, France wanted a medal. They got one. You're right about that. Never realized that Wemby sounds like Andre the Giant. Okay. Here's what we got going on. Tomorrow, Lakers got a game against the Golden State Warriors. Let me actually see real quick. I think it's another one of those nationally televised games. Damn, some breaking news right here. Pete Carroll agrees to deal to coach the Raiders. Interesting. Okay. I just went on ESPN. I saw that. Raider fans out there. He's old, but the guy's the man. Brilliant mind in the NFL. Pete Carroll, the next coach of the Vegas Raiders. We are still weird to say that. I want to say Oakland Raiders. Tomorrow, so just give everybody a quick idea what we got coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow, Lakers are taking on the Warriors. It's a 5:30 tip. It's a nationally televised game, ABC, ESPN. As soon as the game is over, I'm going to do the post-game show. Sammy a little bit later, probably a little bit later tonight, is going to go ahead and post a preview to that game, so just keep that in mind. Monday morning, back on doing the show right here, the Sliwa Show. Of course, 8 a.m. to whenever the hell the show ends. So just so everybody has an idea, that's what we got going on. It's going to be 8 a.m. on Monday, and then tomorrow right after the Lakers game. Let me get one more of these in here. Slee, going back to this topic, Roki would have felt betrayed if Padre ownership held that information from him after he chose them. What do you think? I would have waited. And, I would have put – I think they probably would have asked for clauses anyways. But, no, I get what you're saying. I think it would have been worth the risk. I'd have take my chances. And just show to Roki, like, look, that stuff's going to get figured out, but we'll support you on the baseball field. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. $1.15 today. Phenomenal Friday. Lakers with a big win over the Boston Celtics. Some good topics about Anthony Davis, Rob Pelinka in the front office. Some good baseball topics as well. Hope you guys really enjoy the NFL playoffs coming up on Sunday. I'll be back tomorrow after the Lakers and the Warriors. Please subscribe to the channel. Have a great rest of your day, and we will talk to you guys soon. Thank you, everybody.